Okay, so here is another review that I'm going to be doing. I'm recording this after the Mary Poppins Returns review, even though I saw this movie first. Uh, and that movie is Roma. So let's talk a little bit about this movie, because this is one of the big movies of Oscar season. It is directed by Alfonso Cuaron, obviously famous for Gravity and Children of Men, as well as Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. So this is a movie where, okay, just to give you a little bit of background, I've been uh, looking at the Oscar race since 2012, and I was like 14 or 15 when I started. So I've been doing this since I was really young, and I wasn't always the most mature person. And the reason I'm bringing all that up is I know if I had seen this movie back in 2012 when I first started this, I would have been bored out of my mind. This is a movie, it's one of those movies where not a lot happens plot-wise. It's all about creating an atmosphere for the characters. And it's also a foreign film, and it's in black and white. But with that being said, I think this is a very, very compelling film. It's just all about the intimacy of the moment. And I a lot of people are going to be bored by this. I'll just flat out say this, especially with this being a Netflix movie. Oh, excuse me. I think a lot of people are going to turn this on, like when they're Netflix and chilling, and be like, "Oh, this is boring," and turn it off after the first couple of minutes. Which is a real shame too, because it's a very good film, but it is something of a slow crawl. A slow crawl. It's not of it's very slow paced, and it's very focused on the characters. The film primarily focuses on this woman who is a maid who works for this family in Mexico, and it pretty much she gets pregnant and then has to figure out what to do, and that's basically the movie. The whole thing is told from the perspective of the maid, and any anything that we learn about the rest of the family is told secondhand. It like we find out later, like is all shown from the maid's perspective, and it's done very very well. Yalitza Aparicio stars, and she is amazing. It's a very natural, believable performance. It's not a very it's not a big acting role that some of the other contenders and best actors are this year, but it's very nuanced and it feels like a very lived-in performance. That's a very good way to describe the movie itself. It feels almost like you're watching a documentary at times because of how raw and real it all is. Alfonso Cuaron is a great director, and in this film he does the cinematography, and he is going to win Best Cinematography. That is a fact. That's just a fact. This is some of the most gorgeous cinematography I've ever seen, certainly of this year, and he does a lot of interesting things, particularly whenever he does a long take. There are quite a few long takes in this film. Long takes are a staple of Alfonso Cuarón, and I love long takes only when they're done well, and he is a director that always does the long take well. I don't really know what else to say. Photography is very good. It's a film that I don't know if I can recommend to everybody, because not a lot happens when you get down to it. Where you compare where the character and where the family is at the end of the movie versus where they started from, not a lot has changed. But I think that's kind of meant to be the point. It's pretty much just one of those slice of life movies, like The Florida Project, and I feel that it works. At the end of the day, it's a believable story. It's a very believable world that Cuarón sets up, and it's a very personal story to him, which can be felt in every frame. There's very masterful cinematography is probably the main reason to see this film, but also nuanced acting, nuanced writing, and it's a top Oscar contender, so you should probably see it regardless. Yeah, this is just a really, really good movie. If you don't mind seeing a movie that's long and slow where not a lot happens, that's all I'll warn you about this film, because otherwise it's very, very good. That's about as much as I can say. I'm surprised I don't have more to say about this film because I did enjoy it a lot, but I feel like I'm just repeating myself. Very good, very enjoyable, just slow. And I feel that if you care about movies or cinema, if you liked Alfonso Cuaron's other movies, then I think you should at least check it out. Um, but it's not a movie where a ton of stuff happens, and you're gonna have to really commit to it. So that's my review, and I'll see you later. Bye.